Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depend on your time and your location. This is Re Biafra TV. I bring you a message of hope and also to remind you those things that you may be forgotten about United States of Biafra government. We want to discuss with you this morning the very important of why the full declaration is very important for government in exile. Why this our declaration is very, very important to you, I, and the United States of Biafra government, and why we must understand this our declaration and how this declaration can help us to achieve a lot. That is the message we are here to dish out this morning under the international law. Why is it that this declaration is very, very important to us as a people of Biafra? And why it is important to Simon Ekpa, Mazen Nnamdi Okwukano, and also how did the international community see our movement, and how do they value the movement of the United States of Biafra? These are important things that we need to look into and understand that this declaration is very, very important, and this is a key to the freedom of people fighting for have a new country. And it is a key that makes it easy for the world to see them as the right government. There is many more to that we as people of Biafra have to pay attention towards it. And the attitude of having a new country, and how can this our official declaration help us more and more to achieve our goal, is one of the most important things that we need to understand. Someone may say, we don't international law. Why are you doing always international law? Why? See, those that give you official recognition for you to have full right is international law. And they are the one looking at the constitution that makes you to become a country. We cannot achieve Biafra fully without them. You may take example of country like Somaliland, in waiting for 34 years, as an example to you. Look at the history of Somaliland. That could trigger you to understand something. And then you will know that this government, that the declaration, it is a road. And once you go through that way, you can do what? You may understand the importance of what? The declaration, and why you have to respect the document of declaration. And as you are waiting for international law to do the needful, honestly, we cannot, us alone. If you check to the history of all these countries in the world, there was a time America was waiting to become a member of the UN. There was a time that America was waiting for international recognition. These are important. There is 3 criteria for a new country. 1 is to make declaration. After declaration, you claim de facto government. That Obato will be even endorsed towards that before our declaration. That is why they say that Obato will be, our Prime Minister is running very fast. That when they are warning him to stop that speed that he's running. This is another thing. Then the final official one is the international recognition to become a member of the UN, or once a member of the UN recognize you, become a fully country. Do you know that in these 34 years of Somaliland waiting for recognition, that if you type Somaliland or they talk about Somaliland, their flag will not come out. But go and check. After Israel gives the recognition, if you tap Somaliland, their flag will come out with them. Or if you ask for Somaliland flag, it will appear. Because in the past, if you come across of Somaliland issue or try to their name, once they bring their name out, you will never see what? You cannot see their flag along with them. Their flag will not appear. But it is a particular day that Israel, as a member of the UN, organized them. Their symbol of a flag start appearing. So for you, there is no amount of gragra. There is no amount of power. There is no amount of what you think on your own that will give us Biafra, except this international community. They are the one that they are the one to make you to have a full right as a country. When you sit down and look at the Somaliland as full example of what we are going to discuss this morning, that is when you will know that there is, no matter how corrupt they are, there is a work they will do for us. There is a work this international community has to do for us. They are the one that are going to announce us, then Biafra flag will be coming out. That is when you become a full country. And once one of them recognized you, you have started appearing. These are the things that we all must understand. It's not by our power. It's not by a gra. Sorry, 1 minute, my people. 1 minute. Yes. It's not by gra. And it's not by what we think or those who come on comment section to ask us questions. That is why we must start acting like. That is why when you see the US government, they are acting like those who want to get something from the international community. And how can you do it? You cannot do it without document. You can do it. You can never be a full country in this 21st century without you going on the international legal of it. That is how it works. So whoever that may come on question asking you if their government is this, don't mind about them. Don't worry. Let you and I, who understand the importance of the government declaration and that through that way that we are making our headway, let us continue pushing by supporting our government. This is our fundraising. Come and support the fundraising because money is involved in the case that we are into. So this morning, I am welcoming my brother Chigozie. Good morning from here. Inhejrika, good morning from here. Jenny Valivis, good morning from here. And my brother finally, okay, Mommy Margaret Ibokwe, good morning from here. Salute you. Thank you so much. Good morning. So, you see this level of Biafra we are looking for right now. Okay, what we can only do is to support the government and encourage ourselves. Debunk the lies that people are bringing and channel the strength on the international global community. Go and check, example, go and type Kosovo on your phone. You will not see their flag around them. Why? Because of lack of the recognition from the member of the UN. Go and check. Go and check Northern Cyprus. Waiting for 40 years. You cannot type Northern Cyprus. Their flag will appear on them. No. Or if you know what I'm saying, type America. Their flag will follow up. US. Type UK. Their flag will come. Type Russia. Their flag will come. But go and type Kosovo right now. Their flag is not there. Go and type Miami, their flag is not there. Go and check Northern Cyprus, their flag is not there until they be able to grab the international community. No matter how corrupt they are the key. They are the leaders. So for you to get what you want, you must play along with them. Do you know that the government is very foolish by standing to making everything legal? The government is not foolish. That is the road, that is the line we have to toe for us to achieve what we are looking for. If making us to fall like a mugu in their eyes for us to achieve it, let us do it. Because that one will become official authority. This recognition is what will push Nigeria away. Like when Obi said that after our declaration, that we are not going to throw one bomb or one gunshot again in Biafra land. Because Obi now understand really that by we doing that, that we are going to fall in the level of Somaliland, Kosovo, Northern Cyprus, Miami. There is many countries in the world today that you never even hear about them, but they are country on their own. But what happens? They are not a member of the UN. They have never got recognition from a member of the UN. And there is criteria that leads to all these things. So those criteria is what we as people of Biafra must follow our government and get it right. Honestly, I was at work. I did not watch the program. I just had my break. Then I rushed online. Go, if you never get this ID card, please go and get your ID card. By this night again, I will come back on live, the service of God. We will discuss more about this ID card and the passport. Why Biafrans must focus. We are over 40 million that believe in US. Let me put it that way. That authentic believe in USB. Let only 20 million take this ID card. It's to the world. These are proving that the government of the USB is in charge. That is what the world are looking at. They are watching us closely. All these things happens leads to is things that help for them to know that this is a true government. Have you asked yourself what is the fullness of a government in waiting, true government in exile? There is many things that we need to know on the international level where they are, and it is on your phone. Then when it's not there, as you join me, please endeavor to like and share the program as we are going to go into one or two things this morning, please. And this program is not going to be long. It must be just maximum 1 hour, 30 minutes. Then we'll end the program. Because we want those that will listen to it to listen to the end of the program. Please. I urge you to like and share. So that is how you are helping very much to make this message to go viral. Please. That is why I urge you, I am begging you to do that for our own benefit. So other our brothers, we know that we are that the program is what we are doing. It is our right to do that. So please, I may not have the time to share to everybody because of my time, but we must go in, please. So my people, it is very imperative that you listen. It is very imperative that we follow the road that will help us. We can do every other thing, but when it's come to this official recognition that give us the right to chase away Nigeria fully, or for them to pack without one gun bullet, the hand, the power is what international is being given. In a freedom movement, they cannot give us freedom. We will get the freedom, then they will back it up with us. They will use their power to back it up. So that backup is what we are looking for. We have given ourselves the freedom. We have taken the freedom by ourselves, to the level where we are right now. But we need their backup undermost. If you see the jubilation of the people of Somaliland, then you will know how important it is. Yes, good morning for a very long time. Our time and your time is always tough, but it's okay, my brother. You're well. I'm happy to see you. If you want to know how important of this backup of the international community, when you are going something, if there is no backup, believe you go nowhere. The backup is what make us to that the way Nigeria has gone with their bribe, over 9 million bribe to Washington DC, has proved everything. But the interest of the world matters so much. And do you know why our own is very important to them? Because we have what they are looking for. And those that are looking for those things, the only recognition they give to us triggers us to do what? To also to help them also. They call it Onyemame water. Give me, I give to you. So now that it's mandatory that what we have is what they are looking for, they will come. It's also why we are not going to belong, our own is not going to wait for so long eternity for us to achieve it. But there's something we have. And there is more to what we have. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The ID card capture was very simple and organized. Yes. Do you know what is important? These are the things of government in waiting is doing that the international law will use to justify that a government really. So let us go into the program that we have this morning. If you look at the headline, have it in mind. You know how we do it here. I am going to play it for you. Then we'll do the analysis towards it. It is very important.
International law, the act of declaration is the formal birth certificate of a government's claim to authority. Without a formal declaration, a group is merely a political party, a rebel movement, or a pressure group. For a government in exile, GIE, the declaration is the legal bridge between being a private organization and becoming a public sovereign entity. Here is why it is critical. 1. Establishing de jure legitimacy. Under international law, there is a distinction between de facto, power by fact force, and de jure, power by law. When a GIE makes a declaration, they are formally notifying the world that they are the rightful de jure government, even if they do not currently have physical control of the territory. This declaration sets the stage for competing sovereignty, where they challenge the current regime's right to represent the people. 2. Invoking the right to self-determination. A formal declaration often cites specific international frameworks, such as the UN Charter or the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. By declaring a government, the leaders are legally asserting that the self-determination of their people is being expressed through this new body. It moves the struggle from a domestic riot or internal conflict to an international political issue. 3. Capacity to enter into treaties. The Montevideo Convention, 1933, states that one of the requirements of a state is the capacity to enter into relations with other states. A declaration is the first step in demonstrating this capacity. Once declared, a GIE can begin signing informal agreements, opening liaison offices, and appointing, quote, ambassadors. Without a declaration, other countries have no official entity to sign a contract or treaty with. 4. Legal protection for leaders and supporters. A declaration helps transition the movement's activities from criminal to political in the eyes of the international community. Political offense exception. In many extradition treaties, people cannot be extradited for political offenses. By declaring a government, the members define their actions as state-building rather than terrorism or treason. This provides a layer of legal defense in foreign courts when the home government tries to have them arrested. 5. Creating a social contract. The declaration serves as the legal foundation for the ID cards and passports you mentioned earlier. For a government to issue documents, it must first declare that it has the authority to do so. The declaration acts as the law of the land for supporters, giving them a legal reason to pay taxes or donations to the exile government instead of the one in power. Comparison. Group versus declared government. Feature. Political group. No declaration. Government in exile. Declared. Status. Private organization. Public sovereign claimant. Documents. Membership cards. National IDs/passports. International law. Usually ignored. Can be recognized by other states. Funding. Donations/grifts. State taxes/national bonds. Summary. The Declaration is the foundational legal act. It is the moment the movement stops asking for change and starts acting as the authority. As we saw with the declaration of the United States of Biafra in November 2024, the goal of such an act is to force the international community to choose which law they will follow, the one in the capital city, or the one declared by the exile government. Would you like to know how a declaration affects the state immunity of leaders, protecting them from being sued in foreign courts?
I hope you're listening. In our own level of understanding in this movement that we're into, is quite different from the things that international law are looking from us. And since over all these years, there is how they see all my agitation, because I agitated for long with IPOB. And in all this time that we're into agitation, we are just making like Simon Ekpa, our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa Njoko. Like he said, that we until we do this declaration, then we got a document and sign it with our people. That if not for that, that we are just making noise. He used that word for you to understand as a common, for every common manly understanding. But when it's come to the international community, there is how they see it. This our declaration and why it's important for us. If one thing can, when you act one thing, when one thing you act gives you 5 benefits, it's not better. When you just acted only but one thing, and that one thing that you did give you 5 benefits, then if you plus that one thing inside that 5 benefits, it becomes 6. So when one thing sort that since that renders one thing benefit, one action is 6 things completely. That thing is not very important. If something can change you to a common criminal in the eyes of international community, and international community see you as a government in waiting, claiming authority, is it not the best way to go? Why can't we, as Biafran people, for those who are kicking against this government, for those who are kicking against our declaration, for those who don't want Biafra as a country, can't you listen and see that we have beat your hands down? That woman you are calling names has beat you hands down, that she is working on the level of the international global community, not on your own level. Now I see when Abatobie said that when Bomaznan Kano said that when they try to put you to their level and you resist them, they will want to drag you down. They will start insulting. That's what you see all these people that are happening today, that they're doing. When our lawyer was on the platform of Mazekai, you may understand more things that we have been saying here. But because of maybe the way you look at me, I don't speak good English, you may not have understand the value of it. It is very sacrosanct at the stage that we're into. That in everything that we are doing, that this our declaration document give us the power. You remember that our own is not just declaration, that it is a real declaration. I am discussing about just an official, once formal declaration. When you step into the power or the importance of the real declaration, then we also see what gives us the leverage of that if only this one, the first declaration of a nation for the first time, gives 6 things, then we also see that real declaration of the USB give us 14 or 12 things at a time to go into. When you listen to the document, you find out on international law that this our declaration it has served that nobody will arrest any leader again. That is why Nigerian government try to arrest Simon Ekpanjoko before our official declaration. That is why. And now that our DPM, Dr. Musa Rabeze, has legalized everything about Biafra, including you and I, nobody will come to arrest us anymore because we're talking about Biafra. Unless you did something that is out of this declaration, unless you did something that is out of the government plans and the rules and the laws that guides a new country like us. But when it's come to because of you in social media talking about Biafra, nobody under USB, nobody. The legal document is there to serve us. And you had it here. Listen to this again before we go into a full details analysis to every layman understanding again.
In international law, the act of declaration is the formal birth certificate of a government's claim to authority. Without a formal declaration, a group is merely a political party, a rebel movement, or a pressure group. For a government in exile, GIE, the declaration is the legal bridge between being a private organization and becoming a public sovereign entity. Here is why it is critical. 1. Establishing de jure legitimacy. Under international law, there is a distinction between de facto, power by fact force, and de jure, power by law. When a GIE makes a declaration, they are formally notifying the world that they are the rightful de jure government, even if they do not currently have physical control of the territory. This declaration sets the stage for competing sovereignty, where they challenge the current regime's right to represent the people. 2. Invoking the right to self-determination. A formal declaration often cites specific international frameworks, such as the UN Charter or the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. By declaring a government, the leaders are legally asserting that the self-determination of their people is being expressed through this new body. It moves the struggle from a domestic riot or internal conflict to an international political issue. 3. Capacity to enter into treaties. The Montevideo Convention, 1933, states that one of the requirements of a state is the capacity to enter into relations with other states. A declaration is the first step in demonstrating this capacity. Once declared, a GIE can begin signing informal agreements, opening liaison offices, and appointing, quote, ambassadors. Without a declaration, other countries have no official entity to sign a contract or treaty with. 4. Legal protection for leaders and supporters. A declaration helps transition the movement's activities from criminal to political in the eyes of the international community. Political offense exception. In many extradition treaties, people cannot be extradited for political offenses. By declaring a government, the members define their actions as state-building, rather than terrorism or treason. This provides a layer of legal defense in foreign courts when the home government tries to have them arrested. 5. Creating a social contract. The declaration serves as the legal foundation for the ID cards and passports you mentioned earlier. For a government to issue documents, it must first declare that it has the authority to do so. The declaration acts as the law of the land for supporters, giving them a legal reason to pay taxes or donations to the exile government instead of the one in power. Comparison. Group versus declared government. Feature. Political group. No declaration. Government in exile. Declared. Status. Private organization. Public sovereign claimant. Documents. Membership cards. National IDs/passports. International law. Usually ignored. Can be recognized by other states. Funding. Donations/grifts. State taxes/national bonds. Summary. The declaration is the foundational legal act. It is the moment the movement stops asking for change and starts acting as the authority. As we saw with the Declaration of the United States of Biafra in November 2024, the goal of such an act is to force the international community to choose which law they will follow, the one in the capital city, or the one declared by the exile government. Would you like to know how a declaration affects the state immunity of leaders, protecting them from being sued in foreign courts?
I hope when you are listening to something, you pay deep attention. When you are listening to something, pay deep attention towards it. These are the law, these are the rules. Let me tell us one thing that I want us to understand really. In everything. Remember a case of somebody who has a father and who does not have a father. The declaration is like a father to us. The declaration of the USB give us every right. That is why when I look at some, hey, Mommy Simon, good morning. Big Mommy, good morning in the house. Thank you so much. When you about to say good morning, I can see you. Thank you so much. Good morning from here. It's morning here. This is almost to 5 in the morning. This is 4:34 morning here. So I greet you. Thank you so much for joining me. For those who are awake by up to this hour, because I am doing this program that BFans wake up early in the morning so they can watch. Because of my time, I have only this time to do this. I have a very busy schedule at people that I am working for. So the break I have, I must use it and be here. Thank you, all of you, for being here. Now, let us go to deep analysis of this to every layman understanding. Let us go into that. Now, listen to this. In international law, the way they see our declaration, not the way you, I want Nigeria see it, not the way you, IPOB, not the way you fall back, those that are recognizing a country, look at the way they see this declaration. International law, the act of declaration is the formal birth certificate of a country, government claiming to authority. In international law, the act of declaration is the formal birth certificate. It is proving that a child, a new country has been born with a government. Now, the government have to claim authority. When you deliver a new child, that new child will start having the authority of that new child starts from the day he was being born in this world. There's some things where the child will cry. That crying is authority of that child. That don't do me this thing next time. I don't want it. I am a human being. In the international law, the act of declaration is the formal birth certificate of a new country, government claiming to authority. Without a formal declaration, a group is a male political party, a rebel movement, or a pressure group. When you see IPOB doing all this shenanigans, I don't know how they are not reasoning over all this. I was asking myself, is it not the same IPOB I was among? I took an oath over it. In 2017, I took oath of IPOB. I don't forget that particular date. By this so-called Benjamin Madubu. After he was being released by detention through Mazen Nandekan, with Mazen Nandekan, after he was released, he was the one that gave me oath of IPOB. But because of their conscience, because all they care is money, business, because Mazen Namdi Okukano make it official to all of us understand that people are, that Igbos, that Biafrans see every opportunity as a time to make money. And when somebody sees something, you can tell me that person who wants his business to fall down. Tell me a man, a woman who see that this water is my business, and you're trying to stop him from selling this water. So they see Biafra movement as a business. IPOB organization. Those that are flowing them did not understand what those in the head are making and why they keep you you went to school, you cannot graduate. Do you know that declaration in the other times is a graduation from you from a school? It's also proving that you are 18 years to decide for yourself. That is the criteria. These are the meanings of this declaration. For over how many years did you want us to agitate? Are you listening at all? Without a formal declaration, a group is seen as a male political party. I have did that program here. There is no amount of agitation of IPOB or without IPOB coming to declaration that the world will come and say, oh, because of your agitation, because of the document you are submitting proving that you are agitating for a new country, because of that agitation, or you take it. Nobody does that. No, it never happened before. Type on your phone. Can IPOB agitation on international law leads to give them Biafra as a country? Also type on your phone. The declaration of Biafra through Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, can people that can IPOB use it as to get international recognition as a country? They told us no. I have done that program here. They said you need to be re-declare it again to claim that lost country back, that a new country has been born. This might be an old country. Do you know that in the history of Somaliland, they have automatically 2 public holidays? One is the day there was declared it as a country on their own. Second one was the day that Israel give them the international recognition. That was the second one. These are 2 official public holidays of people of Somaliland that nobody should touch it. Why are we not thinking? Why are we not using like other people? For how long do you want to continuously acting like a mere political party? For how long do you want to continue acting? The international community sees you see this movement without declaration as well as a rebel movement or a pressure group. Now I see from where Batobi grab that word that IPOB is a pressure group, political pressure group. These are how the international community sees you. If you think that you alone, with the creation of Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, you claim that nobody should declare Biafra again, it's okay. Why can't they recognize Mazen over all these years? Why can't the international community recognize Mazen Nandekan over all these years? And there is a way they are seeing you. There is everything about this world we are into now is digital. How many cars are still using manual today? How many cars are still using manual today? If I may ask you. And are you being happy driving manual? Are you being happy driving manual cars or automatic? Which one is the best for you? The declaration is the automatic. Grab that word very clean. There is a 2 sentence here that you must pay attention. Number 1, the international law, the way they see 2 things. And ask yourself, remove envy, remove hatred, remove how I have been agitating for over a decade. It doesn't matter. When a child go to school without recognition, without a certificate, the child's school was wasted years in the school. How do you want to maintain every year be a boy? How do you want to continue maintaining this political party, a rebel movement or pressure group? For how long in your life? You that are kicking our declaration, that is the main goal. In international law, act of declaration is the formal birth certificate of a new country. government claiming to authority. Without a formal declaration, a group is a male political party, rebel movement, or pressure group. For over how many years do you want to continuously acting in this way? Why do you give yourself such a name that will not yield any result? For a government in exile, GIE, the declaration is the legal bridge between being a private organization and becoming a public sovereign entity. Here is why it is criteria. Its criteria. A government in exile, GIE, the declaration is the legal bridge. The declaration is the legal bridge between being a private organization and becoming a public sovereign entity. Here is why it is criteria. This is how the international law sees us. This is how this declaration document that lead us into. Between legal and illegal, which one do you want? Out of declaration is illegal. The declaration is legal. So tell me the one you want. And why you are kicking against the legal. Can illegal win legality? The answer is pure no. The answer is what? Pure no. So I don't see why you are kicking legal. You that is illegal. IPOB remain illegal. Fallback or pure illegal. All these people are making noise. Social media today, they are all illegal in the eyes of the international community. There is an international community. You cannot bypass them. And you must follow their law. Let me tell you, if Donald Trump tomorrow decided to break the law of this world because of his the number one world power to set another record of power organization or another laws, we must abide by it. We must do what? We must respect those laws. Africa respects international community. The international community, even the way they see it, they made it that their own laws supersede our own African laws. Except now that people has come, start talking. And let me tell them, you cannot get united Africa without Biafra. You will have united Africa without Biafra. There is a reason why it's like that, because we are the light. We are from the rising sun. When you keep us down, Africa will be down. For you, that is against this declaration, you are fighting. That is why in Okwi, when Igbo are there, they are saying Mbebu Kantibu, Mbebu or no legal in English. So you that are ranting, making noise, asking stupid questions, acting foolishly, the world are making mockery of you. The way you present yourself to be make mockery of you is how the world is going to treat you. For the US government, the declaration remove us from political party, rebel movement, or a pressure group. Check on your phone. They hide these truth from us over all these years. Sometimes I get angry because I never knew that what is laying us is there, that we are the one laying ourselves. That is why I give you an example of country like Brazil. Brazil was being declared by a woman. That's why I said Uche Kanu is very stupid and foolish. He claimed that he's well educated. He's educated moron, a buffoon for that matter, who cannot research. He's only coming on social media to talk trash. He's always coming on social media to talk stupidity. That's what she does. When a woman in Brazil, 1822, a woman declares Brazil as a country. How? The husband is the one that leading the movement of Brazil to become a free country from the United Nations, from UK or from British. When he stepped aside from Brazil to go to these colonial powers, he knew that because of the research or what the husband taught her, she understand that they are going to arrest the husband as a what? Under the law, they will charge him terrorist, treason. As the man stepped aside, the man is on the plane going. The woman used his cabinet members, make official declaration, and send a message to the husband. The husband was about to drop from flight, and he got message from the cabinet members that following him that we have declared this brother as a country. When the man stepped into the colonial powers, they tried to arrest him. The message on his phone proving that they also declared and tagged him the president of Brazil immediately on his way. When they declare immediately, before he stepped down, his people of Brazil has start addressing him as the president of a new nation called Brazil. 1882. Go and check that history very well. That declaration was what saves him. So when he entered into the colonial power, they even tried to keep him. They kept him for 5 days. And when his people continued demanding, pushing, they released him. He went back to Brazil as the president of Brazil. This is how Brazil becomes a country today. Do you know IPOB? Biafra is not a family matter. But look at how a wife who understands, who read very well, helped the husband to secure is released. And today, yesterday, it happens that Obatobia is not here. Some fools who wanted Obatobia for Nigeria to off his life, to Nigeria to buy him, because you know that Nigeria simply means death sentence to every indigenous person. Talk less of more or the level of Obatobia. Those who collected the money, Ogenkere and his men and his group, stand up to call a meeting that Biafra should not be declared. And that is the man you are following. Are you not foolish? When you listen to this document, when you listen to these international laws, these are the legal aspects of what we are doing, what I'm giving to you if you don't know. When a woman in the midst, like a woman who declared Brazil, understand that what will save Simon, including Mazen Nandekan, is the declaration. And she goes towards that. You who are cascaded declaration, do you even love Simon at all? You love him with your mouth, but deep down in your heart, you hate him, maybe because of he did one exposition about you. Because of what? That there is one exposition he made about you. That is why you hate him. Inside your heart, you know. And you're running propaganda outside. I'm not even talking of those who claim that they have replaced Obato, that they are the prime minister. Not Simon Ekpa again. Someone who changes a document has come back today, removed the prime minister and put himself, and you are still following. Why are you so wicked? Why are you evil? Why? Brazil will teach you a lesson. Many countries, there is about 14 countries in the world that woman make the declaration, that woman pronounce it. That's what simply that's what it is. There is no two ways about that. And there's nothing you can do to stop it.
In international law, the act of declaration is the formal birth certificate of a government's claim to authority. Without a formal declaration, a group is merely a political party, a rebel movement, or a pressure group. For a government in exile, GIE, the declaration is the legal bridge between being a private organization and becoming a public sovereign entity. Here is why it is critical.
Do you understand it clearly right now? Are you getting the message clearly? This is the law. This is the how and things have to do. Let's continue.
1. Establishing de jure legitimacy. Under international law, there is a distinction between de facto, power by fact force, and de jure, power by law.
Do you hear it? Today, in the eyes of international law, the US government are representing the power of law between the de facto power by fact force. Today, we are no longer in the era of Ntibu Kampebu. Rather, we are in the level of Nampebu Kantibu. That is the legal aspect. That is the job that we are into. There is two criteria. Like even me, I saw it, there is a three. In these two criteria, the highest one is the one of declaration. The one of declaration is the legal, that they said, the power by legal. That's why I ask you, between legal and illegal, which one do you want? That's why I ask you, between Mpebu and Ntibu, which one is the best? Which one is the best? USB is the legal, that is Mpebu. But IPOB, fallback, they are Ntibu in the mouth without no action. IPOB is Mpebu, is Ntibu. Fallback Ntibu. Ado Ocho. Ado No. Faces Unite run away. All of them are Ntibu. But when the legal appears, it takes over everything. So stand on this legal side of the movement that we are into. Under international law, there is this distinction between de facto power by fact force. You see what they call it? They call it what? Fact force. Chiboza Ezendo, good morning. You're welcome. Please, as you join us, please, may you like and share the program, please. If it's your first time coming, there is a 3 dot in front of you. Click on that 3 dots. It will open. You will see like and share. Look the way I'm pointing my hand on your screen on the right-hand side. You will see that 3 dots. Click there. You know, it's why it's important. When you share the program, when you like it, another person will get that is from you. That is how it goes. That is why we always ask you, we beg for you to like the program. Share it. So, back to what we're saying. I'm asking this question. Between legal and illegal, which one is the best? Now, they're letting you to know that the declaration of the USB is legal aspect of it. The declaration is a birth certificate that a new country has been born. Listen to here. For a government in exile, GIE, the declaration is the legal bridge between being a private organization. Without declaration, you are a private organization. How? And becoming a public sovereign entity. A declaration is making you what? A public sovereign entity. Can you grab that word? That the declaration is making us. Shibozo, thank you so much. That's our declaration is what? Is proving that becoming a public sovereign entity, a public sovereign entity, is what the declaration is all about. Now he says, under the international law, there is a distinction between de facto power by fact, force, and de jure power by legal. Between power by legal and power by force, which one is the best? Which one is the best? Between illegal and illegal, I'm asking you, you that is going against USB declaration. In USB, I stand. That is legal. I don't know about you. When a GIE makes a declaration, they are formally notifying the world that they are the rightful de jure government. That is legal. Even if they do not contrarily have physical control of the territory. Are you hearing it? That they know that we don't have physical power to control the territory. But remember that becoming a public sovereign entity by what? By declaration. And by that declaration, it becomes, they said, and the due power by law will becomes, you have your power through law. That is why the Biafran government is making everything to become our right. And you are watching clearly. Now, I ask you again, between illegal and legal, which one is the best? As a one fibo, between Mpebu and Ntibu, which one is the best? And which one is making you to be safer? Peter 0740. Thank you so much. I can see you, brother. Good morning from here. You're welcome. Why did, if a man marry, some women drag the man to wedding court, even if they don't do officially that thing. Once it is married by court, I will say that this one is okay for me. He gives the family members, he gives the woman power that even when my husband is not alive, that they could not near us. That is legal. We need to understand that where we are, that the legal could be the best thing will happen to us. Go and check the history of a woman being married through court and one without when there's a problem in the family. The court gives the woman power to stay, and the woman stays, and everybody will be afraid of the woman. But that one, without this legal aspect, they chase her away. This is how now you are seeing all these groups are making noise. The legal of the declaration document chase IPOB, fall back, and all people away from the movement. It doesn't matter what anybody is claiming right now. No, it doesn't matter. What matters is the legal aspect of it. And the man oburu onye bruzo oyibo na ebuzo ekpebu. And nobody go kuna lara. Onye obere bruzo progo oyibo dikiti na agba ụzọ akwụkwọ like oge nkere. Like in the IPOB making noise. IPOB lost everything in the hands of Master Simon and Dr. Musa Rabeze, because they have nothing to offer except to continue on their business of agitation, of claiming IPOB one family, protest, they cook rice, drink Coke and Fanta. Why those who are coordinators share the money? For how long? But we have beat you down. That woman Ngozarabeze has completed the history, has repeated the history of Brazil in Biafra movement by giving us Biafra as a country. The act of declaration is a public sovereign entity. Go and cry, go and hold transformer. If the word does not please your conscience, we are not going to put this word here. This is what those who give recognition, those who value what we are doing, this is what they are giving. This is how they see us. Not how you is seeing us. Not how you reason. The movement of Biafra has beyond what we reason. Do you understand this clearly? My people. Let's continue.
When a GIE makes a declaration, they are formally notifying the world that they are the rightful de jure government, even if they do not currently have physical control of the territory. This declaration sets the stage for competing sovereignty, where they challenge the current regime's right to represent the people.
Are you hearing it? The declaration set the stage for competing for what? Sovereignty. Hey, sovereignty is when you control your land 100%. Sovereignty is when you control 80%. Who are you, the international community, who give recognition? Are you those that put this law for here? This law is what USB must continue to follow. This is what the government has to. This is what you has to follow. If you really know that you want Biafra, follow on this movement of this US government that are going through legal in everything. The USB, leading by Ngozarabeze, has legalized everything about Biafra. And as we are drawing down more, you will see the benefit of that declaration. And you ask yourself, why can't you thank her? Why can't you support for us to go home fully? Why can't you? Why are you wasting time? Why are you gossiping around? Why are you in the cabinet up to today and you did not believe? Walk away from that cabinet. May all the enemies that are still in this government, in this cabinet of our USB, may God expose all of them. God push them away. Those betrayers inside the government. God expose all the Ifajonas, expose all the Judas in this movement that we are into, inside this government of the USB, expose them more and more. Continue pushing them to continue until they all walked away. You are there, send messages to Obinos Aganobi. You are there, send messages to Age. You are send messages to Dorati. These are those you are working with. Why you are inside the government? And they are paying, they are giving you some change. When you give them the message, when you leak a secret of the government, what they are planning, then through that place, then they will give you a small dollar. And you think you are doing yourself more harm than good. You are laying costs upon your family and upon yourself. The declaration sets the stage for the competing sovereignty. Why they challenge the current regime right to represent the people, in proving that those that made this declaration are the right government to represent their people in the eyes of the international global community. We can never achieve Biafra without them fully. The one is in our capacity. We have done that. The only thing we must do now is to help government to raise the fund for them to continue to documenting, for them to continue to lobby, for them to continue to go through diplomatic movement of this movement that we're into. That is our own. And also being here to correct our people's mind, debunk the lies of the enemies around us. This is our work also to mount media pressure to the world to know why we are exiting Nigeria and why they must recognize us as a country. As we, as the last solution, America building military in Enugu State with Israel is not the solution. Because those you think that your military will chase away, they have agenda. There are difference of what is happening in Nigeria that the world must pay attention. The agenda is to Islamize the Christians. That everybody must be a jihadist. That is main agenda. In Nigeria, America building a military base, Israel building a military base, is not gonna work. What's gonna work is to let everybody go according to their tribal line. America, Israel. We also, as those who believe in Christianity, that when Biafra get recognition as we are in our country, yes, we can give you. But remember that having embassy in our country or military base is also a line of colonial master in the new type. Because Biafra did not have embassy, did not have military base in your countries. That is that offer you think we are giving to Biafra African people are not the best. That is that you think we are giving to us is not the best. The best is for us to disintegrate Nigeria, let Christians on their own, let those who want jihad on their own, simple as an ABCD, everybody will go. And you don't need to come and build a military base there. Let's do the primary things that save people's life. It is good to build, yes, at this stage. But the solution, the everlasting solution, is what we are looking for. Donald Trump, what if you build this military base and you are no longer in the seat? Netanyahu, you are no longer in the seat. What will happen is the question. You need to find an answer. If all of two of you build this military base and you are no longer in power, Donald Trump, you can use what happened to you before to imagine when you left. Are you going to be an American president forever and ever? When you build those things, the person coming will destroy it. What happens next? Then that is why we needed the everlasting solution, and the USB has given you this everlasting solution to the world. It is very important. This declaration set the stage for competing as a sovereignty, while they challenge the current regime right to represent the people. Today, US government is representing us very well. Do you believe that USB is representing us very well? This is, for me, that's what I believe. I don't know about you. I don't know why you're not in the government. Let's continue.
2. Invoking the right to self-determination. A formal declaration often cites specific international frameworks, such as the UN Charter or the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights.
Are you hearing it? Have you asked yourself, why is every country trying to get the interest of the UN? Why? Once UN endorses you, the country you are fighting to leave has finished. That is the end of it. That is the end of it. Invoking the right of self-determination fully. Remember, in the curriculum law of Nigeria and Great Britain, they say that self-determination is not for the Biafran people in Old Eastern region. Go and check the history. Go and check that secret memo I read last week. I read 2 days ago. Go and verify through that secret memo of British that self-determination is not from us. So for us to invoke the right of self-determination, the declaration, a formal declaration is often seen in specifically international framework such as the UN Charter or the International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights. Civil and what? Political rights. So we have to invoke it. Our declaration, this a formal declaration of the USB is what? is to invoke our self-determination officially to the world. Now that British remove that the self-determination is not for the Biafran people. So now we have invoked it back. By the declaration, a government, the leaders are legally assert that the self-determination of the people is being expressed through this new body. It moved the struggle from a domestic wrath or internal conflict to an international political issue. Why this international political issue? Why is it important? Remember, it has moved from what? From a domestic wrath or internal conflict to what? It has this our declaration move us away from internal that they use against Chukwuemeka Odumegwu. Nigeria said that because of Chukwuemeka Odumegwu was in the homeland America declaration, they said it's internal affair of Nigeria. That is why many countries are supposed to recognize Biafra on the international community, they run away. They came. But London and UK lobby for on behalf of Nigeria to block those people that want to intervene, even America. Yes. But the question is, why did a Christian countries allow their people to suffer so much before they can intervene? But you will see all these countries that are Muslims, that are jihadists, they always organize themselves very fast. Go and check all the countries that are first give Somaliland recognition, that are local ones in Africa. They are all their people. In Africa, who are these princess countries in Africa? Who are these princess countries in Africa that refuse to recognize Biafra as a country? How many do we have? How many of them? And they all muted themselves. They all remain silent and watch on social media how their fellow Christians are being buried by jihad, and the only option that gives them the power, now that we, the Biafran people, has given you power to talk about us, organize us, what is he holding you? The Christianity is on the mouth. Is only in the name of your country. No love of one another. No value of blood of your fellow Christians. Because if you value, why all of you are still remaining silent in Africa? They say that charity begins at home. African countries that are Christian countries, where are you? Is it only the Biafran people are Christian country in Africa? Are we only that entity that are Christians in Africa? Why are people acting like a brother who is calling for his fellow brother back up and he refused to give? Africa must stand up. Those are Christian countries. You don't have to wait for us to go through 5 years before you come. The earlier, the better. The earlier, the way you serve the life of people. For you, IPOB, come and listen to the truth. I was a member, oath taker. Sorry. Must continue.
By declaring a government, the leaders are legally asserting that the self-determination of their people is being expressed through this new body. It moves the struggle from a domestic riot or internal conflict to an international political issue. 3. Capacity to enter into treaties. The Montevideo Convention, 1933, states that one of the requirements of a state is the capacity to enter into relations with other states.
Are you hearing it? Without this declaration and having a government in exile, you go nowhere. You must declare a country before you get to this level of the capacity to enter into treaties. Because those you are going to enter the agreement with, they all are countries, they all nations, they are all states. You cannot be a mere political party. You cannot be a rebel and claiming this and go and sign the treaty. You cannot be political party. You can't be a rebel movement. You can't be pressure group and go and sign these treaties. You must be a country. Remember from where we start from 1 to number 3. And now, after you have invoked the right of self-determination, they now bring us into what? Capacity to enter into treaties. If you are not a declared country, if you don't present yourself as a country, no country will talk to you. IPOB and the fallback. You must present yourself, you must represent yourself as a country before other countries will come. You will not be a mere political party. You cannot be a rebel. You will not be political pressure before they will. No, you must stand as a country. And then by through that means, you have met what? The Montevideo Convention 1933, a state states that one of the requirements of a state is the capacity to enter into relations with other what? With other states. A state, the one of the requirement for a state is the capacity to enter into relation with other states. You must be a state before you can sign this agreement. You must prove that you are a state by declaration. By what? By declaration of the USB. And our own is what? Real declaration of the USB. That is how you understand. The real declaration of United States of Biafra is evidence of that we are a sovereignty in waiting. Go and check very well. That's why I told you that the brain of those that are given international recognition is not your brain, it's not my own. They have put everything down for us. Remember, our Prime Minister, Simon Ebanjoko, said that the road to achieve Biafra is in the open, it's not in the hidden, it's not a hidden agenda. Now, all this is not in the hidden agenda. This is that the world will write it and put it down until you go deep to take your time to find it where they keep it. These are the things that they never want us to know. Please, as you join, help me like and share to proving that thing that they want us to know, that we have already understand it. And we are working towards that. If it is your first time joining, please, there is a three dot in front of you on your right hand side. Click on that three dot, you will see like and share. Please. Anytime you want this program comes to you, give us a like and share. Let people hear the message. Please. If you think that the message is important to send out, remember on the importance of the declaration in the eyes of the international community. That is the headline. That is the program we're running this morning, this early morning from my location. This is after 5 morning. If it's not important, I won't deny myself time to sleep and be here. That is why if you believe in USB, share the government, share the program to any group that we are into, because many of us are into WhatsApp group. Let the program go viral.
A declaration is the first step in demonstrating this capacity.
A declaration is the first step demonstrating the capacity to sign an agreement with other countries, with other states, with other nations. A declaration is the first step in demonstrating the capacity, this capacity, sorry, to demonstrate that you are sovereignty, you must make official declaration. Through that declaration, you have give other countries power to talk about you because the case has changed from internal to external. The external leads to what is legal of it. That gives every other country's power to do what? To sign agreements and recognize you as a state. You must be a human being before you talk to your fellow human being.
Once declared, a GIE can begin signing informal agreements, opening liaison offices, and appointing, quote, ambassadors. Without a declaration, other countries have no official entity to sign a contract or treaty with.
Are you listening? Once a declaration, a IGE, agreement in exile, can begin sign informal agreement, opening liaison offices, and adopting and appointing ambassadors. Without a declaration, other countries have no official entity to sign contract or treaty with. Without the declaration, without the declaration of the United States of Biafra Republic, no country has right to sign an agreement or endorse IP. They can never IPOB listing. Overtake is allowed. And then you have been overtake. Because when the movement happens, I follow the moving trend of Simon Ebanjoko. That is only a legal entity that are defending the Biafran people at all time in every way. I want to ask you a question. As you are hearing this, are you still doubting it? You can find it out on your phone in a little bit way. He'll give it to you. What do I type to get what I am doing on my archive in my app? Why the declaration is very important for a government in exile under international law. Type it on your phone. Read by yourself. Educate yourself and stop being, make more of yourself and stop being fool at all time. These are the things the world hide from us. Just one little thing you will type about the declaration, they will give you the important also. You that are in IPOB, try and make research for once. IPOB is not end of the road, but the declaration is the end of the road. That's why I told you, na akpago channels ka akpa onye ọzọ. No amount of your protest that will make you to become a country, no. No amount. A declaration is the first step in demonstrating this capacity that you are a country. A declaration, real declaration of USB, United States of Biafra Republic. Once declaration, a GIE can begin signing informal agreement, opening liaison offices, and appointing ambassadors. Without a declaration, other countries has no official entity to sign a contract or a treaty with. IPOB. IPOB listing. Fall back. Those who are Nigeria list that are doubting it. Continue doubting. Continue undermining the truth. This truth that you are undermining will come back to haunt you. Believe you me. That is when Hadaino comes at last. Njara Marakwa is the last thing. And I am preventing you from now, it's not late, to come back and come back to your country. Come back to what you give you, what you have been seeking from 2015 to 2026. How many years? I left you to think on your own and answer yourself. Because the best teacher is what you teach yourself. The best advice is what you give to yourself. Give yourself the best advice and pay attention to things that matter so much, to things that will send you home, to things that will removing you from being a mere political party. Pay attention to give your life to what changes you from being a rebel movement. Give your life to what changes you from being a political pressure group. That is what the Congo Rebels has given you through Simon Ekpanjoko, the Prime Minister, Dioba Tobie, the Anonkan Kampi, the Mweji Dinos Lodi Anko, Agune Shemba. Now, with this declaration, you will see why you are somebody you claim is your leader, who happened to be my president, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, why he said, go and follow Simon, that Simon is coming to bring the new dimension. The new dimension is what has achieved when he was arrested by Dr. Ngozi Arabeze, the Deputy Prime Minister. By what? This official real declaration of United States of Biafra Republic as a new country that has emerged in the world. A declaration is first step in demonstrating capacity to sign what? Once declared, a GIE can begin signing informal agreement, opening liaison offices, and appointing ambassadors. Without a declaration, other countries has no official entity to sign contract or treaty with. They will not. I listen. Stop being deceived. Stop ignoring the truth. Stop denying yourself the right of you to go home. Number 4.
4. Legal protection for leaders and supporters.
Legal protection for leaders and supporters. Me, I'm a supporter. That declaration, the real declaration of University of Biafra that was meant on November 29, 2024. Legal protection for leaders and supporters. Listen.
Declaration helps transition the movement's activities from criminal to political in the eyes of the international community.
Listen. A declaration helps transform the movement activities from criminal to political in the eyes of the international community. Without a declaration, with you and your protest, Nigeria will continue tagging you criminal, terrorist, traitor, and all these bad things that they've been tagging on. But with this, the international community see you as a body of political country that are government in waiting to achieve international recognition, becomes a full country. Do you understand? Listen to truth. The truth is bitter. This truth is very bitter. But I must give it to you. Stand up on the reality. Leave illegality alone. Stand on the legal. Leave illegal alone. Stand on the right instead of on the wrong side. Let's continue.
Political offense exception. In many extradition treaties, people cannot be extradited for political offenses.
Are you hearing it? Political offenses in many extradition treaties, people cannot be extradited for political offenses anymore. You can't reason go to the best, you don't understand the procedure. Now, if you understand, if you pay attention to this program, then you understand why you, as who believe in USB, must be happy and high your shoulder. Once there is no criminal act, once there is no murderer case for you, once there is no any other bad thing that the world will see, but if it happened that because of this movement, nobody will extradite you anymore because you have a government that you are working for. Do you understand? Do you understand it perfectly? What are you still waiting for? Why Chige? Why you are envy, you are hatred, you are jealousness, you are greedy is going to destroy you. In this movement, your IPOB want to prove to us in Okwibo, nas no na-eri bego, kama nke na-eri ga-emechi, ka nke eribeho, ka nke ahụ mechie. That is not the adage in a movement of having a new country. That the ideology of IPOB must be killed and wiped off. Well, it has already been taken out from them because they can do nothing. With this document, with these international laws and their criteria, tell me how could IPOB achieve Biafra for you in this 21st century without this official declaration? Our people, let us stop deceiving ourselves. Let us face reality. In many extradition treaty, people cannot be extradited for political offenses.
By declaring a government, the members define their actions as state building rather than terrorism or treason. This provides a layer of legal defense in foreign courts when the home government tries to have them arrested.
Are you hearing it? By declaring a government, the members define their action as state building. By declaring a government, the members define their actions as a state building rather than terrorist or treason. This provides a layer of legal defense in foreign court when the home government trying to have them arrested. You call him from go to the vessel, call arrest her, or I'm going to the before. It doesn't matter. Look at how the international law sees this movement. And who are you? What are you? If the international law sees the movement they were into in this aspect, what you are saying makes no sense. What you are saying holds no water. That's why I don't have my time to give to you. To come here talk about you. Only I can mention your name, how you become a rebel, you continue being rebel, how you continue being a terrorist and terrorist. You are the one. Because out of our declaration by Dr. Ngozi Arabeze has removing us from this level. Look at it here. This provides a layer of legal defense in foreign court when the home government tries to have them arrested. Obatobi Simon Eba is in Finland because of the declaration. Now he becomes the prime minister automatically. Because of what? The act of declaration by Dr. Ngozi Arabeze that makes us a sovereignty in waiting, a government in waiting, a country in waiting, name it anything. But in our own, we have automatically become a sovereignty. That's why I told you, now it's been legal. Nobody will arrest us anymore. put us in prison, take you back to Nigeria. That time has gone. That is why I am happy that I am full citizen of United States of Biafra as my own country. Let's go into number 5.
5. Creating a social contract. The declaration serves as the legal foundation for the ID cards and passports you mentioned earlier.
Listen. Creating a social contract. The declaration serves as the legal foundation for the ID card and passport. Yes, I mentioned it earlier because I was asking them the right of this going to issue ID card and passport, and they have 100% right. You taking that passport means there is a government. You taking that passport means there is citizens. You taking that passport is giving the government leverage in the eyes of the UN and all the international communities. That is why you must take the ID card as a Biafran. Do you know that when only over 20, 30, 10 million Biafrans take ID card, everything has finished. Please, my people, even if you don't have, ask someone who can help you, even pay the money. Citizens of every country pay money to get passport and ID card. They don't give them free. So how do you think that this one is going to be free? And at this stage, when you support this movement with this ID card, they can, in the office that are issuing it, they are working for this ID card, they can use money to pay them. How do you want money to come out? It's going to fall from heaven. My people, please, let us join. Let us give our time to our government. And let us help to make it fast. The facilities of our recognition is in our hand. The recognition we are seeking for is also in the hands of the citizens, not in the hands of government only alone. We must join together, obey the laws they are asking us to do what they ask us to do. All this proving that we all are ready. And when the world has such a thing, they will come quickly. The recognition will come very fast. If you want us to go home very quickly, let over 10,000 Biafrans take this ID card and pay for it. Let over 10,000 Biafrans take the ID card. There are some countries in this world, they are only 6 point something thousand and they're a country, not even million. Please endeavor. Change your, have a good heart by yourself. And because of you really want us to go home, not to become to ask questions. Today is the day of fundraising. Support little you can. Here. This only government alone cannot do it alone. That is why it's important that we all join hands together. Togetherness, we will achieve it very fast. Please, my people. The declaration serves as a legal foundation for the ID card and passport. The declaration, the power of this declaration. Stop undermining the truth. This truth that we are undermining will hurt you at last. That is why Hadino will come at last to you.
For a government to issue documents, it must first declare that it has the authority to do so.
After our declaration, the government has every right with what we are hearing here to issue ID card and passport. This is also proving that there is authority.
Declaration acts as the law of the land for supporters, giving them a legal reason to pay taxes or donations to the exile government instead of the one in power.
Are you hearing it? The declaration acts as the law of the land for supporters, giving them a legal reason to pay tax or to donate to the exile government instead of the one in power. Who are in power? Nigerian government, are you paying tax there? If you are paying tax in them and no paying to USB, like the so-called Don Pedro with his voice note that he's talking rubbish every time and thinking he's a wise man because they have recruited him. Because Nigeria recruited him to come and destroy the movement, to think he can do something. When he comes first, he will pretend, asking questions like he wants to know. When he left that place, his other question, he will go and castigate you. That's what he does. The declaration acts as the law of the land for supporters, giving them a legal reason to pay tax or donate to the government in exile instead of the one in power. The power of declaration. Now, comparison group versus declared government. Let's listen.
Comparison. Group versus declared government. Feature. Political group. No declaration. Government in exile. Declared. Status. Private organization. Public sovereign claimant. Documents. Membership cards. National IDs/passports. International law. Usually ignored. Can be recognized by other states. Funding. Donations/grifts. State taxes/national bonds.
Do you hear this clearly? Now, they put it in three comparison. And what happened? Listen to this. Future on the line, three criteria. Future, political group, no declaration, IPOB. Fallback, and those who are against our declaration. Government in exile declared. United States of Biafra, that we are declared United States of Biafra Republic is one they're talking about. That is what government in exile declared. Remember, three criteria for future. Listen. Future, political group, no declaration. Government in exile declared. Now see how they see it. Status, private organization, no declare, that is IPOB. Private organization. Now, government in exile declared. Public sovereignty. Public what? Sovereignty. Let's continue. Document, membership card is what they will give you, that you're a member of IPOB, and they will collect money. Then, for government in exile, national ID card and passport. That is for government in exile, re-declared or declared. Now, let us continue. International law usually ignored, that the international law are going to ignore this what? Political group, no declaration. The government in exile declared can be recognized by other states, can be recognized by other what? Other states. Founding, donation is, they call it that you are gifting them something. Donation, you are giving them something. Now, for the government, state, tax, nation binding. Now tell me, with this future and criteria, which one is the best? Which one is the best for you? The best for me is government in exile declared. That this is what they call them what? The international community sees them as what? Public sovereignty. Nation ID card and passports can be recognized by other states because of act of declaration. IPOB, no declaration, usually ignored. The international community ignored them, that they are just a rebel group, political party, pressure group. Now, when you are giving donation, they call it gift. That you are just gifting them. That is how they see it. Now, state tax, nation building. when you are given to your government in exile. In summary,
Summary. The Declaration is the foundational legal act. It is the moment the movement stops asking for change and starts acting as the authority. As we
the declaration is the foundational legal act. The declaration is the foundational legal what? Act. It is the moment the movement stop asking for change and they start acting as authority. They start acting as what? As authority. Not like you want to change, you want. No. They have stopped that level and moved into what? Acting as the authority. That is what US government is doing to us right now. And they are doing very well for us. As we saw with the declaration of the United States of Biafra in November 29, 2024, the goal of such act is to force the international community to choose which law they will follow, the one in the capital city or the one declared by the government in exile. For we are going to adopt our law. And there is a law already in the Amazon. They mention here that the constitution law supersede the charter, which is by next program, you are going to hear it clearly. For those who claim bylaw and charter, bylaw by Ogo Nkere, to write what it will suit him to use to deceive you, and you are there.
saw with the declaration of the United States of Biafra in November 2024, the goal of such an act is to force the international community to choose which law they will follow, the one in the capital city, or the one declared by the exile government. Would you like to know how a declaration affects the state immunity of leaders, protecting them from being sued in foreign courts?
Are you hearing it? That is one we're going to go tomorrow. Ogo Nkere who want to sue US government that we want to sue someone, our DPM, who make the declaration of the United States of Biafra. Listen to everything as we're ending up.
In international law, the act of declaration is the formal birth certificate of a government's claim to authority. Without a formal declaration, a group is merely a political party, a rebel movement, or a pressure group. For a government in exile, GIE, the declaration is the legal bridge between being a private organization and becoming a public sovereign entity. Here is why it is critical. 1. Establishing de jure legitimacy. Under international law, there is a distinction between de facto, power by fact force, and de jure, power by law. When a GIE makes a declaration, they are formally notifying the world that they are the rightful de jure government, even if they do not currently have physical control of the territory. This declaration sets the stage for competing sovereignty, where they challenge the current regime's right to represent the people. 2. Invoking the right to self-determination. A formal declaration often cites specific international frameworks, such as the UN Charter or the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. By declaring a government, the leaders are legally asserting that the self-determination of their people is being expressed through this new body. It moves the struggle from a domestic riot or internal conflict to an international political issue. 3. Capacity to enter into treaties. The Montevideo Convention, 1933, states that one of the requirements of a state is the capacity to enter into relations with other states. A declaration is the first step in demonstrating this capacity. Once declared, a GIE can begin signing informal agreements, opening liaison offices, and appointing, quote, ambassadors. Without a declaration, other countries have no official entity to sign a contract or treaty with. 4. Legal protection for leaders and supporters. A declaration helps transition the movement's activities from criminal to political in the eyes of the international community. Political offense exception. In many extradition treaties, people cannot be extradited for political offenses. By declaring a government, the members define their actions as state-building rather than terrorism or treason. This provides a layer of legal defense in foreign courts when the home government tries to have them arrested. 5. Creating a social contract. The declaration serves as the legal foundation for the ID cards and passports you mentioned earlier. For a government to issue documents, it must first declare that it has the authority to do so. The declaration acts as the law of the land for supporters, giving them a legal reason to pay taxes or donations to the exile government instead of the one in power. Comparison: Group versus declared government. Feature: Political group. No declaration. Government in exile. Declared. Status: Private organization. Public sovereign claimant. Documents: Membership cards. National IDs/passports. International law. Usually ignored, can be recognized by other states. Funding: Donations/grifts. State taxes/national bonds. Summary: The Declaration is the foundational legal act. It is the moment the movement stops asking for change and starts acting as the authority. As we saw with the Declaration of the United States of Biafra in November 2024, the goal of such an act is to force the international community to choose which law they will follow, the one in the capital city, or the one declared by the exile government. Would you like to know how a declaration affects the state immunity of leaders, protecting them from being sued in foreign courts?
That is when we'll come back again, maybe in the night, if time permits us. Maybe when we come back, then we are going to address the issue once again, my people. Please, anytime you watch this program, please like and share the program. Make it go viral so others may join us. Like I said, the program has been gotten up to another time. I thought it would be only 1 hour, but please bear with me, and we want to listen. Listen to the end of the program so you will understand everything. Don't just listen half and go away. You may not understand what we did this morning. So please, sort of my time from me, from here, it is a wonderful morning to you all. Happy weekends, my people. Thank you so much for being here.